I'm Craig Kenneth, a relationship coach and a psychotherapist. Every relationship is different and every breakup is different. Work with me and you'll get professional help on your situation. And if you're in no contact, focused on personal growth, my workbook series, The Knowledge, will help you make changes like you've never made before. Available now at AskCraig.net. Hi there, I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And in this video, we're going to be talking about who are they cheating with?
Ooh, gotta know right away.
You know, sometimes you get that feeling something's wrong. You can feel something, you know, the connection's off, their behavior's off, and Pizza Hut keeps calling at 2 o'clock in the morning. We keep trying to deliver your pizza. Is that what you're trying to deliver? Or is it pepperoni?
Oh.
But I actually had a call this last week where the girl's boyfriend hid this girl's number in his phone by his work number. So that stuff does come up. It does really happen.
Wow.
I mean, you always hear the joke about like the pizza place calling you.
Yeah.
Right? It's crazy. But it happens. I mean, people hide things in their phone like that. So we're going to be talking about cheating today. What makes people cheat, why they cheat, and who they cheat with.
Exactly. This is all going to be based off of an article by Dr. Dylan Selterman and his crew. When I see et al., I'm just going to say, and his bunch of friends. His researcher friends.
The Selterman friends.
Yes. So basically, him and his team of researchers studied cheating and studied the motivations, like you had said, and also the length of the affair. And what he found, interestingly enough, and pretty obviously enough, but sometimes you have to do research just to verify, but they basically found that people who are unsatisfied in their relationship because of their connection with their partner, this could be feeling unloved, feeling unappreciated, this could even be being angry at a partner, led to them choosing people to have longer affairs with. And the research also found that those people were more likely to display public affection than others. So these are people who are saying, well, we're going to go out to dinner. I'm going to go out to dinner with my side person, and whoever sees, sees. They were more willing to dissolve their primary or main relationship.
To take that risk of being caught because they probably thought if it doesn't work out, they'll just keep going with this new person.
Exactly. Yeah.
That makes sense.
So it's giving this sense of security, this sense of, okay, I have this connection with this person that's going somewhere, versus I'm not feeling that connection, or I'm feeling very disconnected to my primary partner.
What you have to understand is so much about human beings is about survival on this innate instinct to live. And like I've been watching one of the dinosaur shows on Apple. I think it's Prehistoric Planet. And what's so interesting about, I kept thinking all the way through like season 1 and season 2 is it's really about the dinosaurs want to survive. How do they survive? How do they eat? How do they mate? And it just kept going back through all the different types of dinosaurs and their own types of experiences based on what kind of dinosaur it was and where they lived, but it really kept coming down to those things. And so survival is an innate thing in us, and human beings are meant to be in tribes, right? That's how we stay alive. So that's why a lot of times people line up other people, because they're afraid to be alone. Truly confident people are less likely to do things out of anxiety and fear because they believe they can handle it. Like, it's almost like the alpha dinosaur, right? That, you believe it or not, with the mating, you would see groups of dinosaurs mating, and the male would try and be displaying his colors and getting all the attention, but he was the one that was showing that he was most likely to survive. And so that survival is so innate in us.
I'm just thinking about your hobbies right now and your interests. Craig likes Star Wars and dinosaurs mating. That's what he does in his free time.
It's not a kink, okay?
I swear I'm listening.
Go watch Prehistoric Planet. It's really good. It's really good, actually. But my point is that so much of what we do as human beings is based on survival and evolutionary. And that's why I think that you see people cheat the way they do because they're afraid to be alone. They're afraid to give up the relationship to be alone, so they find somebody else. They think they've got this longer-term partner mate on the side, so they're more likely to walk away because they have somebody else there to help them survive.
Right. And there's so much in their survival brain that they don't have empathy for how their behaviors are affecting somebody else.
Yeah.
You know, they'd rather protect themselves, protect in quotation marks, that feeling of insecurity, that feeling of not being safe, rather than just being direct with their partner and saying, hey, you know, I'm feeling disconnected. Either let's work on it or I'm going to find security elsewhere. And so this is, you know, a really loaded topic when we're talking about cheating because it's not just one person that's involved here. This is multiple parties, who they cheat with, the partner that's hurt, their own motivations. So there's a lot to unpack. The other part of the research that they found was those who were experiencing more situational stressors. So this could be temporary things or temporary mind states, even being drunk, being under the influence of a certain substance. This could be just outside stress.
Maybe they had to travel for work for a weekend. They thought they could get away with it.
Right. Situational motivations ended up being with partners for shorter periods of time. I mean, the research there is pretty obvious. You know, if you are drunk, you know, it's not somebody that you're thinking, oh, I'm going to have a family with kids with this person, most likely.
Yeah.
It's going to be a shorter term type of affair.
And thus it's
situation.
less likely that they're going to display affection in public.
Exactly. And they're less willing to dissolve their primary relationship for that reason.
Yep.
So far this is making pretty good sense. You know, if you're feeling invisible in your relationship, you're likely to go find somebody else to go be seen and have that sense of security. If you're in this type of momentary inhibition or, you know, in a situation where it makes cheating easier, then you're more likely to have a shorter term type of situation there. So why is any of this important and why are we bringing this up in one of our videos? Well,
because we like dinosaurs.
we speak for yourself there.
Wait till you see Prehistoric Planet. You'll change your tune.
And we do want to be clear that cheating is never okay. You know, regardless of the motivations or the reason, it is being deceptive to a partner. It is a sense of betrayal. It is not respecting them as they are to be respected if you're breaking in an agreement. That is what it is. But this is also shedding some light that betrayal is much deeper than just that. It's not just cheating for the sake of cheating. There's normally something underlying there, a reason as to why this happens. Not an excuse, okay? A reason, not an excuse. To me, this study emphasizes how important it is to be continually aware of how satisfied you are in a relationship and how fulfilled you're feeling. This is really important because time can pass and, you know, years in, you're feeling, man, I feel pretty alone in this relationship. And when we're thinking about cheating, we want to also think about prevention. You know, what are some things that can help us to feel connected so we're not needing to lie and deceive our partners to get our needs met? You know, how can we water our own yard to make it flourish? So this is the lesson that I derived from it, that I thought was really helpful from this piece of research. And people do go years unsatisfied in a relationship, and then that becomes the status quo, which is really sad over time. And I don't know if any of you have heard of this theory before, but there's this concept called the region beta paradox, which I wanted to bring up today too. And this is basically the idea...
A type of dinosaur.
Is it really?
No, I'm just kidding. The beta paradox, of course.
Is he an herbivore?
It's like a pterodactyl.
I see. So the concept of this theory is basically that things are actually better when they're worse than if they're mediocre. Let me explain. When things are bad enough, it can actually motivate you and cause you to leave that situation and strive for better, rather than when things are just okay enough to stay in a situation. And there's a certain threshold where things are mediocre, and then there's bad enough to leave. And when you're in that threshold of mediocre, you can stay there for a long time and not find something better for yourself, or not find a better connection, whether that be your own relationship or somewhere else, rather than things getting to that place where it's worse. So I bring this up just to say, check in with yourself. If there is something that's not working in your relationship, talk about it. Be direct. Work on it. And if you do notice that it is not working out between you and your partner, if it's in that area where it is bad enough, if there is a lot of betrayal and lying and deception, and it's gotten to a point where your partner is choosing to be involved with somebody else than to be truthful and transparent with you, which I think is pretty bare minimum ask there, then you have to consider, is this relationship worth it?
Yep. Sometimes relationships just kind of get stagnant, and both people kind of are half in it, half out. And, if both people aren't doing, a fairly reasonable amount to make that connection work and healthy, it can be one of those things where you're just staying together to stay together for a long time. Mm-hmm. And, at some point, that's when some of the cheating goes on. Mm-hmm. For some of those people. It's like, oh, well, we've been unhappy for so long, so then they start to have a long-time affair. Yeah. I've had a lot of clients over the years that have done that.
Yeah. And prevention is a big part of it. Maybe it's a bit taboo to talk about, but there are plenty of people watching this video right now that have cheated or have been cheated on. So you're more likely on one side of the coin there. So it's important to process for yourself, what cheating is to you, breaking those agreements, and why you get to that point, if that is you, or why you haven't drawn the line if you've been with partners who have been unfaithful to you. Mm-hmm. So lots to think about and process, but betrayal isn't okay, but there is more to the story too.
Yeah, a lot of times there is. Mm-hmm. So if you see Pizza Hut calling at 2 a.m., be careful. Yeah. And you can go find somebody else to watch Walking with Dinosaurs with. All right. So hopefully this one's been helpful. If you want to get our help personally, you can do that on my website, askcraig.net. I do email coaching and I do Skype. Victoria is also available for Skype coaching.
I'm here whenever you'd like to talk.
Just click on her name to schedule with her. But that's it for this video. I'm Coach Craig Kenneth.
And I'm Coach Victoria.
And we will talk with you soon.